Does wood matter? I'm going to say yes.
Stay tuned. Me, Baxter and Jonathan, Casino Guitars. We're talking about Tonewood. There's been lots of discussion over the past 2 years.
It's not even a thing anymore.
No,
screw it.
Well, there's
Screw
the one
wood.
YouTube video that Tonewood doesn't matter anymore, right? It's all in the setup.
Very scientific.
Very scientific. Now, I've been in this game of music and guitars, I don't know, getting close to 30 years, it seems. It's God, it's old. But and I love every second of it. Yes. And I love it. And I've played guitars from A to B. I played them straight in the factory, come out thing, exact same guitars. All of them sound differently. All of them set up to spec too. But I'm not going to say I'm a scientist. I don't understand that why. You've done the same thing. You've worked in factories, correct?
This is true.
Have you worked at Epiphone or Gibson?
I worked at good old Gibson, USA.
Gibson, USA. See, because Epiphone's down here, Gibson's right here. It's like the heart of the arm. Heart arm.
The heart.
Arm heart. I should have been drinking all those Red Bulls this morning.
Nah, probably not.
I don't drink any Red Bulls because that's poison.
Just straight vodka.
I do drink alcohol in the morning sometimes. Some people call that a problem. I call it a way to start the day. No, it's... I've sort of thought this for my whole life. You know, and if I have a guitar that's set up the exact same way, put a new set of pickups in it, same pickups, it usually sounds the same. You know, like sometimes if it's the same exact pickups, you know, but the same exact set of pickups into different body guitars, completely different to me.
Like what happens if you put humbuckers in a Tele? Sounds just like a Les Paul.
No, not at all. Especially,
and, you know, scale length, right?
No.
Obviously, that's
a big thing. We should dig into that too. But even like the humbucker, all the antiquities we put into Teles, it does not sound like a Les Paul.
Well, I mean, like forget Tonewood for a minute. I mean, how many custom shop like R8s or R9s have come through here that they are so wildly different with the same pickups in them? I mean, so that's just the variations of the same type of wood in different guitars.
Well, let's just jump back and scale back. Where this conversation sort of stemmed from the article you read. Give it to me.
Always reading articles. Well, good old Jason Lawler.
What does Jason Lawler do for a living?
He makes pickups.
So, okay, cool. So
and apparently, I didn't realize this until I read the article. Like, apparently, he's a master luthier. So, you know, does different things.
But so it seems like a pickup business person would be inclined to want to sell and say like the pickup is the only thing that matters.
Well, you know,
the business.
What was interesting about this, and this was a short article. I think it's in like Ultimate Guitar or one of the online things. So when you're in between browsing for tabs of Crazy Train, go read this. But anyways,
I was doing chicken picking things the other night. It was fun. Just on the internet. But go ahead.
He was saying that like part of the quest of being like making pickups to that level is having them be consistent. He was saying it's really hard to understand like what matters and what doesn't, so that if you make this pickup and then you come back a month later and you want to make the same pickup set, like they should sound pretty close.
Right.
But he was saying as a result, they have lots of test instruments, you know, like however many, I forgot how many, but you know, multiple, like more than a few Teles. 365, one for every day. No, that's not true. But, you know, some with rosewood boards, some with maple boards, some made out of alder, some made out of ash, whatever. I mean, he was just talking about how they make sure the same pots are in there, the same setup, everything measured, you know, on a scale so that it's exactly the same pickup height. New strings, always fresh strings, because he's saying that can make a difference, obviously.
Yeah.
But you know, so he's like, okay, so, you know, we put these same set of pickups in all these different guitars, made of different things, and he's like, it sounds different. Now, I saw this article. Clicked on it, I read it. Then I was looking at one of my little guitar forums on Facebook, and a guy had said, someone had shared it, and he said, oh, yeah, it is different, but, you know, by the time, you know, you're in a mix with a band and there's distortion and the PA and the EQ, that it has done away with the difference. Well, that is, maybe there's some truth, but then we should just forget, doesn't matter if it's a Les Paul or a Tele or a 335 or a Gretsch.
I mean, at that point, we should have just the Soviet block, one guitar, Tanico guitars.
Yes.
Which is a great Soviet guitar. You can go back and find. We did like a fake advertisement for it, or just type in casino guitars, Tanika guitars with a K, I think. We did a really fun ad with a Russian friend of ours. I think it's fantastic. One of my favorites in Derek's works.
It is very good.
Go back there and view it and be like, holy crap, I just saw this after like 4 years. It's really good. Tonika guitars, casino guitars.
And I mean, I understand what the guy's saying. It's a good point. And I think this guy, from what I've seen of what he shared, great guitar player, super awesome dude. But I can tell a difference when I play different guitars. It matters to me. It affects the way I play. It affects, I love this guitar, or no, I hate this guitar. I mean, it is different. There is a difference.
Well, we've definitely done videos on how important the setup is and whatnot. And
sure.
And that was a glaring thing yesterday. We had a gentleman bring a guitar, and you just tell it just wasn't set up right. It's a beautiful guitar, but we'll get it set up perfectly. And it'll sound great. It'll play slinky.
Well, and there's a funny thing. We talk about this all the time. Whether it's the brand of the guitar or the sound or whatever, there's a psychological thing. When a thing is not right to you and you convince yourself it's not right, it doesn't matter after that. It's kind of, I've had that with amps and guitars where I just got in my head,
it has to go.
Oh, this is not, you got to get rid of it. So you can sort of sabotage yourself in a weird way psychologically, I think, to think, oh, this sounds the same, or oh no, this sounds different no matter what. So that is at play.
Yeah, no, it's I have to go just with the years of being in this world, playing the exact same things. Yeah, it is so much, like you said, we were playing all the same guitar, and it doesn't matter the mix, but it's not about the mix. Most people that are behind these guitars are playing by themselves. That doesn't matter. Me too. Most of the time I play it 95% of the time I'm playing my guitar is by myself right now, and I love it.
But I mean, even if you are playing in a mix, you're playing at church, you're playing at whatever. It's not about what the audience hears in that mix. It's how you feel that guitar responds when you're playing it. That's how you're going to get the best performance out of yourself and the most enjoyment, right? So it almost doesn't even matter what the audience hears in the mix.
Well, and I was talking with Gabriel Curie from Echo Park Guitars yesterday on the phone. It was Sunday, right before church, actually. I was like, "Are you going to church?" And he started laughing. I was going to church, I guess, right? Was that?
He was off to drink you away.
He was to drink. He's out.
I don't know if you got.
No, we were talking about when he builds a guitar for a lot of rock stars play his instruments. It's funny,
it's true.
And when he builds one, it's a long process. It's not just a bang out process. The wood is vital to him. And I was just asking him some questions. I was like, well, what about the setups and things? So he's like, he watches the person play for a bit. He says he's got his measurements, but a lot of it's by feel and what that person plays. He builds a guitar and he knows what kind of music they're playing, how they're going to be attacking it. You look at someone like Troy, he plays very aggressively. Yeah, plays very hard. So he builds a guitar set that way. And the way the pickups are going to interact is going to be very individual to that man too. The way he hits it. And it was just funny. The part that this is not just a pickups question, but I was like, when he builds a guitar for this guy, it's not that he's building it for a customer to go buy and try. He's building it. This guy's going to put that guitar on stage that night in front of 20,000 people, which is really funny. It's not like, oh, here you go fiddle around. I'm going to go fiddle around on my couch with my little Benson amp next to me, play a little bit, or the Car Mercury if I pull that out because I'm lucky right now. But this is going to go on stage with a big, huge band and be played. It better work. It better sound great, and it better play and feel great.
I just would like to point out that all of us playing on our couch with that guitar are probably pickier than the guy who's taking it to play in front of 20,000 people.
That is true, too. That's funny. Isn't it?
Oh, my. But on the 12th fret, it's got a weird, oh, my God.
And I was having a little thing with the switch. I was playing an Echo Park guitar through this beautiful Benson amp as well. When I went to the bridge thing, and it took a little jiggle. I just missed the connection. It was like, oh, no. The guitar's not broken. It's just that's a switch. The switches do that, and I've had this guitar for, years. Yeah. And I play it a lot.
Oh, yeah, that stuff's going to eventually, most of it fails.
Or your jack, if you have a really high-end boutique guitar or a high-end Fender custom or a Gibson custom shop, sometimes the jack, it's just something might
It's just maintenance things, you know what I mean? And it just depends on how much you're playing that guitar, right?
A fan bell.
If you're plugging and unplugging your guitar 20 times a night because you're on stage, yeah, that's different than... I play this once a month on my. It just is. It just is. Different.
I know. Yeah. So in my experience, the wood definitely matters.
Yeah.
Wood. Yeah. Wood.
Like I said, not even different kinds. Just the same type, two different pieces. It just. There was an interesting thing in that article. I think it was the same article because there's a part where like Paul Reed Smith chimes in too, and he's saying that he took these violin makers to like a wood source of his.
Okay.
And they were doing the thing where they knock on the wood, and he's like, they're not listening for like a particular note. They were listening for like length of sustain or something, right? And he said that once they got it all picked out, he said that the guy who had the wood's jaw kind of dropped open, because these are lots of different makers, and they picked out 40 pieces.
Wait, so what happened at the end?
So like
I got the script there. What was the
when
end?
they got to the end?
Yeah.
All the pieces of wood had the same number, like when he pulled them up, because they were from the same tree. These guys blind picked out 40 different pieces of wood from the same tree
Oh,
for violin backs.
so because they could tell sound.
They could tell, like, and I mean, obviously a violin is different than guitar, but
No, but
it's
they're
just
working
wild.
with maple.
That's right.
Just like, and that's maple is a very strange. It transmits tone very differently in these things called acoustic guitars and instruments as well, because the maple is almost like a clear. It doesn't color as much.
Well, I don't think anyone argues that it doesn't matter on an acoustic guitar. Like, obviously it does. The wood matters on an acoustic guitar.
Yeah, but passing electricity through these strange things in bodies as well.
Somehow it matters.
There's a vibration that hits that, and that gets recorded. Because if you can put your cell phone above that thing, the wood shaping and shaking is going to feed in that as well. It's happening.
Yeah.
It might be different. It's not the same level of import, but it matters. And then be like, oh, what about that acoustic made out of trash wood? I played it. It wasn't that great. Like, I played it, so it was good. It wasn't as good as one made out of fine Tonewoods. I played those too. Again, I've been really lucky to play a lot of weird guitars.
A lot of strange guitars.
That's it. I think we're done.
We're done.
Let us know your thoughts, your experience with this. If we're completely wrong,
Why wood doesn't matter.
make a video on it, share it with us.
But Jim Lill said, no, I mean, Jim Lill's
That's
video
a
is
great video.
very intriguing and interesting.
Great video. It's a fun video. I've watched it. I thought it was wonderful.
But
I mean, I don't agree. But
I don't quite think it's the end all be all, the end of the discussion.
I'm going to go back to school now.
Yeah, me
Or
too.
science. I'm leaving.
I could care less.
Yeah, we're done. We're stupid and we're sticking.
Everyone knows science is fake.
Fake science. Like and subscribe.
Hit the bell.
Peace be with you. We'll see you next time.
Sounds good.